Welcome, everybody, to my podcast. I hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, night, evening, whatever you're experiencing right now. I just hope you guys are having a great day, as I am. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about a particular documentary I've watched recently, and I don't know if you guys watched it yet. It's called the Brandy Melville and the Cult of Fast Fashion. And this documentary is like an hour, 30 minutes long. It came out earlier this April. And basically, the documentary offers a deep dive into the issues surrounding fast fashion and excessive clothing consumption. And the documentary explores Brandy Melville's role in perpetrating this trend through his, business practices. For one, Brandy Melville follows a one-size-fits-all approach, which is very toxic because this one-size-fits-all is definitely exclusive when it comes to larger women who is looking to buy outfits from this establishment. And it's just crazy because, this one-size-fits-all approach has a very important influence on young consumers, specifically who's making fashion choices and trying to find out who they are because of their clothes, And I think back to when I was in, middle school or even high school and trying to find outfits for me. And, I'm a larger gal, and I feel like I had to force myself to grow up and look for outfits that was able to fit my body, because the outfits that were sold, unfortunately, for tweens did not fit me. And I would find myself literally shopping at the same stores my mom was. And I think it's just very unfortunate for young consumers not being able to find. I think it's definitely changed now, but we still have a long way to come. And the documentary highlights how brand marketing strategies offerings foster a culture of buy and discard. And this encourages consumers to, constantly want to buy the latest trends. And I think about the amount of times like something is trending and I bought it. I worn it for the time the trend, happened. And as soon as the trend died down, I haven't touched that outfit, which is, unbelievable. And the documentary also discusses how there's a rapid turnover of styles, which contributes to this cycle of excessive clothing consumption. And I think introducing these new collections and brands, almost creates a sense of like urgency amongst us as consumers, and having to purchase new items before the trend dies down, and that like fear of not being able to, be as cool as everybody else, especially for young people. And so it delved into how the brand targeted marketing tactics and trend focused approach that led to a mindset where clothing is seen as disposable. And this is just a bigger topic on the issues of like waste and the environmental damage in our world today. And just aside from Brandy Melville, the documentary shined light on just the bigger implication of the fast fashion industry, and it highlighted the negative impacts of having way too many clothes and the urgent need to change in the fashion industry. We definitely need to practice more sustainable practices, like responsible consumption, recycling, and definitely promotion of quality over quantity. And I think that fast fashion has grown tremendously over the years, and it's disgusting, honestly. Like, us as Americans need to do better when it comes to just not buying so many clothes. And the reality of this is, when we have all these clothes that eventually are made, and all these fast fashion clothes that's made and not bought, unfortunately goes to countries like Ghana specifically, where there's like their beach, a specific beach that has just, I mean, so many clothes I can't even describe. Like, you can't even see the sand. It's just a bunch of clothes on this that's covering all the sand that's going all inside the water, and it's really a sight to see. And it's just this trend, I feel like, is fueled by the cycle of new fashion trends, and just like the culture of, out with the old and in with the new. And Americans dispose about over 81 pounds of clothing each year, and most end up in these landfills, like, for example, like in Ghana, like I was telling you about, or and shipped to other countries. So Accra is the capital city of Ghana, and these clothes that we buy and don't, and disregard, find a life in this now secondhand clothes market. For example, like Contamonto, I hope I'm saying that right. And this is just not always a positive outcome, because cheap secondhand clothes undermines, local textile industries, and contributes to just loss of traditional artisanal skills. And not all clothes sent to Ghana are good quality, and many of the clothes become worn out and they're unusable and just end up in these landfill sites, which just contributes to the overall issue of pollution, and it's sick. And some, might argue that the secondhand clothes provides affordable clothing options for the locals, but after seeing those landfills, I feel as though the negative impacts are much more significant. And Ghana struggles to compete with the flood of cheap secondhand clothes, and it leads to closures of factories and loss of jobs, and the environmental impact is just massive. And Accra's landfills is constantly overflowing with disregarded clothes, and it just overall contributes to health hazards for that local population. So, while the culture of excessive clothing in America has far-reaching impacts, like in countries such as Ghana, I think providing affordable clothing options for some undermines the local textile industries and contributes to the environmental degradation. And I think it's a very complex issue, and it requires many different resources and helps. But I think the start is us as consumers to realize what we have already is enough. Do we need a billion pairs of sneakers and shoes and clothes? Definitely not. And I think just having maybe literally 3 shirts, 3 jeans, and even that's a lot, and then just 3 pairs of shoes, and you do your laundry and you clean it and you recycle. That's how we can stop this issue. And to tie back to Brandy Melville in particular, that's not the only store, that's that goes against that what am I trying to say, that like has a mindset, that has who they want. And Brandy Melville wants consumers who are usually blonde and white, skinny, tall, more of like a West Coast vibe. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of young consumers who do not fit that bracket, but are still, around people who do, it just kind of creates this division where girls feel like they're not, or guys where they feel like they're not like accepted for their bodies, or how they have to morph into what a company wants to, be popular and fit in. And that's just, it's just not right. And I say, luckily for me, I maybe don't even notice sometimes I'm being influenced by certain clothing brands and companies. But I like to say that I know myself and I know my fashion style, and I'm not too easy to be influenced by by companies online. But it is scary for the younger generation, and for apps like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all these apps that make it so easy for young consumers to view the fast fashion and see, and even how celebrities wear fast fashion outfits too. And it's like, oh, well, if Kylie Jenner can afford this and wear this top, then I can too, and be as popular as her. So it just creates I feel like everybody plays a role in it. And we definitely need an urgent change, and really push recycling and pushing not over consuming. And I think that will be a great step in, ending this crisis. And yeah, so that's just what I want you guys to take away from this podcast is, when you turn this off and go on about your day, just think about the amount of items that you have and the amount of clothes that you choose to buy and consume, and if it's really necessary, or if you're just trying to stick with the latest trend. So thank you. I'm Talia, and you guys will have a great day. Bye-bye.